Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a video about holm. We're going to expand on UFC fighting and talk about more about MMA, talk about more about the background of MMA, talk about holm as a UFC fighter. How good was holm as a UFC fighter? It all started in boxing. Holm is a former professional boxer. She finished with 33 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses. She was highly regarded as one of the best female welterweights in the world and considered to be among the best. She had a very illustrious career as a boxer where she won the Ring Magazine Female Fighter of the Year and so on and so on. She had a couple setbacks in boxing where she faced Anne Sophie Mattis. Almost pretty bad by Anne. I thought she would die. It was really sad. I didn't cry, guys, but she looked like she was gone. The referee really didn't have her safety at heart. I guess you could say that that stoppage wasn't a bad stoppage. I think a corner threw in the towel. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, she got finished brutally in that round. The seventh round, she got beat up pretty bad. It was a finish, right? I think they should have stopped. Yeah, the referee stopped the fight, but it was very obvious to many people ringside or any of us, any of the fans, that the ref should have stopped the fight. I mean, it looked like a murder out there. Like, dude, you're letting her put her hand through the ropes and you're gonna pull her hand back out of the fucking ropes to try and make her get out of there and fight? Come on, dude. You have a responsibility to these fighters to make sure that they're safe. I was disgusted by that referee, but perhaps that loss made her even better since she went on to avenge her KO loss to Mattis by winning a unanimous decision. I'm not sure why she turned to MMA. Some would speculate that it was due to her not being paid as well as her male counterparts in boxing. We've seen a history of female boxers not getting their just due. If you look at Clarissa Shields, she's one of the best ever. She's probably the best ever, but she's not getting paid the same amount of money that she would. She's not getting paid the level of money that she would expect. That's why she's fighting in PFL. That's why she's doing these MMA debuts. That's why she's doing all this crazy shit with MMA. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're not getting your just due, and you're not getting the fame, like Clarissa Shields, she feels that she's not getting the promotion she deserves. She's not getting the money she deserves. So she's moving to MMA. I think that's the reason why Holm did that as well. I could be wrong. Citing issues with her pay in boxing and a lack of female promotion in boxing. So, she made her first mixed match. That was Holm. She's citing her issues with her pay in boxing and a lack of female promotion. That was Clarissa Shields. But she made her mixed martial arts debut on March 4th, 2011 against Christina Domke. Holm went on to win the fight via TKO in the second round. She got it done pretty quick, very quick fashion. The story then pans over to Bellator, the second biggest MMA organization on the planet. Just think about that. She was at Bellator so quick. Like, how many fights was she doing? How many fights was she in before she went to Bellator? Shit, she went to Bellator pretty quickly. After her first 2 fights, they elevated her to Bellator. That's the real deal. So, Holm, she already mentioned that her entire game early on, early on, her entire game was just avoiding takedowns and then practicing get ups because, oh, we can't get taken down this fight. That's what her coaches always told her, don't get taken down. She obliterated her opposition in Bellator. She put away Katie Merrill in short order with a TKO in the second round. This is the year she truly focused solely on her MMA career because she stopped boxing. She was still boxing at the time, but she announced that she would just be boxing. She would just be doing MMA solely. No more boxing and just focusing solely on MMA. She went on to debut in LFC Fighting Championship. I think this was because in the UFC, the women's division weren't fully developed until the Ronda Rousey saga happened. Dana White wasn't willing to put on MMA women's shows because he thought that the women wouldn't sell. Nobody would come to watch them. It would be boring, blah, blah, blah. But, he ate his words after Ronda Rousey was able to draw so much people to her fights. That kind of made him think about dollar signs. But yeah. So, but Ronda, the thing about Ronda is she just couldn't evolve with her takedowns. The sport kind of passed her by. You know, even that we can never forget about Ronda's contribution to MMA. She helped put female MMA on the map. While fighting in the LFC, Holm was able to knock out Alana Jones with a brutal head kick in the second round. After a stint at LFC Championship, she went on to premiere in the creme de la creme of MMA. She went to the UFC. Her first contract was for 5 fights. It's truly incredible how Holly was able to transition from a pure boxer to a good, well-rounded MMA fighter. She did face a couple grappling-heavy opponents, such as Marianne Renaud, her first few fights with the company, but she also beat Raquel Pennington, by split decision. Some thought Raquel won, but hey, water under the bridge. In her highest profile MMA fight to date, Holly faced off against Ronda. Nobody thought she could beat Ronda. But the thing about, Jackson Wink MMA, they realized that Ronda doesn't do any up lower body takedowns. She doesn't do double legs or single legs. It's almost always clinch takedowns, judo throws. She's very good at that. So Holly was able to neutralize her clinches by avoiding the clinches. And every time Ronda would come on the inside, she would pepper her with left hands, pepper her with kicks, and she was able to keep her off her, avoiding her clinches, beating her up on the outside, keeping her on the outside, and then eventually finished her in the third round because of the accumulation of, no, the second round. She finished her in the second round. But she was able to finish her in the second round because of the accumulation of damage. Ronda was not, that elite. She was elite, but very one dimensional. Leading up, well, yeah, she was able to defend all of Ronda's takedowns and finish the fight with a head kick highlight knockout. She showed that she wasn't championship material. I mean, I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth because the only way we can define champion by being a champion is by defending your belt at least once. If you can at least defend your belt once, you're a champion. But she faced off against Misha Tate in her next fight when she was defending the belt. Leading up to that fight, the UFC, they wanted her to wait out for Ronda, fight Ronda, and get the big paycheck. But, she thought that she could look at Misha Tate as a stepping stone, overlook her. Jackson Wink, they thought that she would be a stepping stone. They thought Misha was a stepping stone. But the fight showed another story, however. Misha was losing the fight. She was able to secure a takedown in the second round and dominate there. She won the second round, but she lost the first and the third. She lost the fourth as well. And then she got a takedown in the fifth round. She was able to get a takedown in the fifth round. She went all out. She was super aggressive with those takedowns in the fifth round. Now she was able to secure the takedown. That let the Hollies down. Holly gave up her back, very amateurish. She tried to shake her off because she thought Misha was high on her back, shaking her off. But the thing about that is, Misha still had both hooks in and she was going for the choke. Holly didn't defend the choke. She let it go through. She got choked out. But, Holly being the champion that she is, she opted to just go to sleep instead of tapping from the rear naked. She went on to face the likes of Valentina Shevchenko. She's another warrior. She's a beast, like another warrior. She hoped to beat. I think she hoped to beat Valentina and then get a title shot. But that dream went to shit because she lost that fight by unanimous decision. Valentina was able to outstrike her on the feet. I thought Valentina would get some takedowns. She did get a few, but Holly was able to get back up. Her next fight after that was marred with controversy when she faced Jermaine Durandamy, an elite striker with an undefeated kickboxing record. GDR was, GDR. She was a very good fighter. She was 6-3 before she faced Holly. GDR went on to lose the fight by unanimous decision. No. GDR didn't lose the fight by unanimous decision. Sorry, guys. But GDR went on to throw punches after the Jermaine Durandamy. She went on to throw punches after the horn sounded in the second and third round. Most people, they felt that Holly won that fight. However, she also went on to lose this fight by unanimous decision. She tried to appeal. She's a bit of a sore loser. Bit of a sore loser there. But the New York State Athletic Commission, they determined that the referee was acting appropriately and there was no problems. There was nothing that he did wrong. She then returned to the bantamweight division. She finished the likes of Betch Korea by high kick in the third round. That was a fucking devastating knockout. She got another performance of the night bonus. Holly proved herself yet again when she faced the phenom and GOAT, Chris Cyborg. And at that time, nobody wanted to fight Chris Cyborg. People were, all over the place. They were just vacating their belts. They didn't want to fight Cyborg. They were scared of Cyborg. But that hill was, it was too far to climb. She wasn't gonna be able to beat. She wasn't gonna be able to beat Chris Cyborg. I think a lot of people knew that. I knew that. Chris Cyborg was pretty much too much of a steep. The hill was too steep to climb. She really couldn't couldn't overcome that adversity. She then faced a low level contender, Megan Anderson. She's not a great fighter. Megan Anderson's a bit of a, how do I say, she's more of a striker. She's not very elite in her takedowns, or she has no ground game. So Holly was able to dominate the fight with the takedowns. It's very surprising because Holly's not a grappler; she's a striker. But the thing about that is neither is Megan Anderson. So the game plan worked perfectly for her. She was able to take down Megan Anderson when she proved to be a problem on the feet. Holly's evolution from a pure striker showed in this fight. You know, she was able to just dictate the pace of the fight and take her down and have some ground control, and that was able to secure her victory. The performance against Megan was able to earn her a title shot. However, she was facing the greatest woman of all time in Amanda Nunes. She got finished in like one round by a head kick, and then Amanda finished her off with some vicious ground and pound, and I mean really vicious ground and pound. This wasn't a shocking result, because Amanda's finished a lot of other females in the first round. Finished all of them. She finished Jermaine Durandamy the first time they fought. She finished Ronda Rousey in the first round too. So you can't really consider that it's a bad loss. She faced the best of the best and lost to the best of the best. It's fine. She faced Raquel again and beat her pretty handily by unanimous decision. It was a pretty boring fight, though. Neither fighter was willing to come forward or even put together some combinations. Just a lot of watching and admiring. Then we came to our best performance to date outside of the round Ronda fight. Holly was able to destroy, and I mean destroy, decapitate, absolutely fucking dominate Irene Aldana. She controlled her. She was able to circle away from Irene Aldana's left hook. That's her best punch, her left hook. So they put together a good game plan. Holly was circling away from the left hook the whole fight. And yeah, she neutralized her offense completely. She got some clinch takedowns, racked up some control time, and she was able to mount Aldana in the third round. Almost finished. I thought she was about to finish her, but the round was over. In conclusion, just concluding this whole video, Holly is a very capable MMA fighter. She's a problem for any striker. Any pure striker, she's gonna be a problem for you because she can get those clinch takedowns. If you're a pure striker, you're gonna have problems with her. And the same thing goes for Holly. She fights a heavy grappler like Misha Tate, she'll probably lose again. I don't think she can beat a Misha Tate. Probably not. Probably won't be able to beat a Misha Tate. That's probably not gonna happen. Misha's a bit of a beast. Misha's a little bit of a beast, so she's not gonna be able to beat no Misha. But she was able to become the bantamweight champ, even though she was not able to defend it. The same could be said for other female fighters. The only fighters that were able to dominate and defend that belt was Amanda, Ronda, and Cyborg. Cyborg got knocked out by Amanda, but she was still able to defend her belt a couple of times at featherweight. All the other female fighters were only champ for like one fight. Misha got knocked out in her next fight against Amanda. She got choked out actually, but the knockout was really the only thing that knocked her out. Misha just gave her a neck up, got choked out. Yeah. I guess you could say that the bantamweight division just isn't that deep or stacked with talent. The times are looking up now though. Holly, yeah, well, Holly's a high level contender, just not championship level.